Welcome to another episode of Rey
Nev.
And we're here today to talk about
Equity.
So right now, what we want to talk to you guys about, because we got the question, is how do I use my equity on my home, on my current home, to either pay off debt, start investing, which is exactly the point the reason why I was asked, correct?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to give you some examples that we already have on the board. We're going to go with easy numbers to make it easier for the audience. So we'll start with...
But let's start with what is equity.
Okay, so first of all, what is equity?
Equity is the difference between what you pay to how much the house is worth when you're in the positive.
Okay.
You can have negative equity, but nobody likes that,
Oh,
obviously.
heck no.
But in this scenario, what we have on the board right now is actually negative equity.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because what happens in this case is the negative equity is what it shows from the down payment, what it's worth, and what the value of the home is, and obviously it doesn't give you anything in the positive. That's what makes it negative equity. So, that being said, let's say this wasn't a loan, right? But you are taking a loan out on your home. So you bought the home cash at $200,000, right? 80% loan is what they're going to give you as equity to your loan. So that's going to give you about $160,000 of expendable money that you can use towards whatever you want to use it for. You know, one of the things we don't recommend is buying a new car. You know, that's a depreciating asset.
Yes.
But what we do say is if you want to invest it in a flip, which is a home that you repair, renovate, and then put back on the market.
And why is a car a depreciating asset?
It's a depreciating asset because it loses value over time.
It loses value over time, so it doesn't gain any equity over time.
None whatsoever. Now, I will tell you this. The higher in price the car is, the luxury of the car, the type of car it is, back in the day when they were classics, obviously that gave equity. But, you know, if you're buying like a limited, maybe that would be something that you would buy as an asset. But other than that, every other car, your day-to-day car, that car is actually a depreciating asset. So
yes.
That car would not be good for doing that. So another thing is always remember that whatever money you take out, you're going to be paying on. So just make sure that you make enough income to cover that expense, right? Even if it's a flip home, because it may take you between 90 days to 180 days, which would be between 3 months to 6 months to be able to get the home sold and obviously regain those funds back. So that way you can get the value of what you make on the profits and then put the loan back if you want to put the loan back or use it again. It's up to you. So let's talk about how it's negative.
Okay. With this added right here. So say you had a house for $200,000, right?
Yeah.
You decided, I don't want to spend all of my cash on this house. How much will the bank give me to purchase this house? They're willing to give you 80% of the value of this house, which would be $160,000. You will bring 20% to the table as their down payment, which would be $40,000 for this home right here. So right now, from the end of the actual transaction, when you get your keys to walk in the house, you really have zero equity in the house.
Correct. What's the difference between equity and having a not a balance. I'm trying to figure out the word, but what's the difference between having the equity and having the money you put down as part of the equity in the sense, right? Like I'll give you an example. What I'm asking you. When you go into the home, there'll be $40,000 already paid off.
Yes.
So that's considered your investment. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So
he answered his own question, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically, this 20% down is your investment into this property. This $160,000 is actually the bank's investment into this property, but this is what you have to pay back.
Exactly. So at the $200,000, then I'm just starting.
Yeah, you're just at the starting point.
So how does it become equity?
That's actually what I was going to ask you. How will they gain equity on this property?
So what happens is that they will then take the property. So the value is at $200,000. So this is the breakdown of how they got to where they got to, and then what happens is that they stay in it for 1 year, right? So when they stay in it for 1 year, and the value, let's say, goes up by 20%, which year over year this year, yeah, that's a crazy number.
It's an inflated number for this example.
Exactly, and the reason why I'm doing it, we want to use easy numbers. So it goes up by 20%. You bought it at $200,000. That gives you an additional $40,000. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, 20%. It gives you $40,000 additional dollars. So this, in essence, becomes the equity. The total value of the property at this point goes to $250,000. I'm sorry, 240,000. Thank you, sir. 240,000 will be the new value, and then this, in essence, is positive equity that you will be able to use to do whatever you would like to do. So that right there explains what equity is, how to use equity, and obviously, like I said, there's do's and don'ts of what to do with it. If you plan on using it to pay bills, just remember that that is not the, in my opinion, I don't know about you, I would like to get your opinion on it. Would that be one of the best ways to use the equity that they have?
If it's something that, okay, a bill that you weren't going to be able to pay, if it's credit cards or if it's just you want to go on a vacation, I wouldn't pull my equity out for that. Personally, if I'm going to pull out $40,000 from my home that's worth $240,000 now, I'm going to use it for an investment.
Okay.
Because you never want to just pull out cash just to use it. You want your money to be working for you.
All right. So how would I use my equity? Give me examples of what's a good way to use my equity.
So, okay, 1 year in, you have $40,000 in equity. You pull that out, right? What did you spend that $40,000 on a year ago?
On
this house, on this actual house.
Correct.
So why wouldn't you pull this $40,000 out again to purchase another house and investment property?
All right.
So now you have 2 homes, and the second one is actually has a money inflow.
So you got cash flow coming in, which is awesome.
Exactly.
Okay. What's another way to use it? So that would be if I do it as a rental.
Yep, exactly.
So that's buy and hold.
Yes.
That's a rental, so it's giving me revenue every month.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's another way in the real estate realm?
In the real estate realm, you can purchase a flip with this.
Okay.
Of course, this is going to be the money that you put in to purchase the flip. You're going to need extra money to actually do the repairs.
Correct.
And the holding costs, which is going to be a different episode that we talk about what holding costs are.
We're going to be talking about that in investments. So for those of you who want to know about investments, we can give you the basics of, the ABCs of investments, or the basic 101 of investments. So how to start with your first flip.
Yep.
And we'll do that in another episode. But you have to write down in the comments if you like the content, subscribe to the channel, but let us know so that way we can go ahead and start writing up these episodes for you.
Yep.
Okay. With that being said, those are the 2 best ways that you can use the money in real estate. There's other ways that that are there, but they're a little bit more risky. We won't bring those up today. But thank you so much for watching, and till the next time we see you. Good episode, Nev.
All right.
All right, brother. Let's do it.
He thought we were shaking hands.